Alright, so this time we're going to do like some kind of phoenix, rising sun bird. He's pretty big. Well, I don't know if he's big or not, but he takes a while. That's not really the proper outcome. If you look on the internet, you can find him. So he's pretty good, but for some reason his supports are required as well, and you also got to be really careful with him because he's a fucking bird, and different jobs require different things, and this one is an external spool job. Having to mount it on the back there and kind of feed it straight through into the machine rather than it using the AMS kit, whereas it feeds off the kit through to the machine, which is kind of meant to help you with technology and whatnot. But as you know, I'm not great with technology, so it doesn't really help me when it comes to wanting to change colours. Almost in a sense, I'd be probably better off using external all the time, but it's not the point. Like you learn as you go, I guess. And so far, I will say that admittedly, I have not really learned how to use the AMS side of it properly yet. And that's kind of like when I go back to that video previously about how I get frustrated about how it's a lot easier to be using your laptop with a lot of stuff like this, but it's not, I mean, at this point at this point where I'm at, you're still really just printing not much more than toys, some household gadgets if you want, like cup holders and things like that. Cup holders and like car pieces are probably the next step. Like I seen a guy build a guy on Instagram sent it to me actually. He's also from Canberra too. He sent it like for a VP or a VN Commodore, like the piece, like a console piece that goes straight in the centre, kind of up above the stereo part, in between all the aircon vents and stuff. So that was pretty good, and that's where you got to start getting a bit more technical and creating your own files and becoming a creator as such. And yeah, you can't avoid. I think you just do need your computer there. But I still think though that an iPhone, like the latest, and I always get the latest iPhone anyway. If the longest I'll go is 6 months. About every 18 months I tend to get one. So, and they're just getting more and more powerful as time goes on. So I mean, surely they can just eventually catch up and just end up just doing most of the work for us. It's just so much easier, you know what I mean? Like some people just don't like mucking around with actual Windows computers. I mean, I know you need them for things like modifying cars and stuff like that as well. There is a time and a place where you do need it. But I think something as simple as like 3D printing, maybe the iPhone should be able to just cover that, Like, and especially just fucking cameras. Like I talk about that camera, that fucking shit Lumix camera. That's a fucking nuisance, that thing. That cost me $700. You know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, so we're just like bed leveling now, and I want to get further into this kind of 3D printing stuff later on in the future for sure. But at this point, I always clean it just the basic way, just with the basic sponge and some kind of hot soapy water. The build plate that is, which is here, but moving on to bigger things, you can change your build plate, change your nozzles, and change your materials as well, such as PETG and other stuff. This stuff is the most easy, beginner and user friendly stuff. All this PLA shit up here, which I go back to saying it essentially kind of just makes not much more than just models or toys, whichever one you would prefer to call them. So, but everything else, like stuff that you want around the kitchen or the shed or something, you probably need a more kind of durable material, one would think. So yeah, that's the camera I was talking about, just real quick, that I'm really tempted to just put on Marketplace again. I brought it this year and it'll only do short, tiny videos, like little clips that I can send to my Gmail and stuff. Maybe it's got something to do with my laptop, but my laptop's not bad either. I only brought that this year as well, and I just can't get a video to load for the life of me. So that, you know what, I'm gonna just flog it off for real cheap. So probably like $300 with an SD card when I get around to it. Which I think, if you want it cheaper than that, just go mug a fucking old lady, as far as I'm concerned, hey? Yeah, so we're just waiting for it to recalibrate again, and then we should be ready to go with it. Okay, so we've begun, and we're on the external spool, and hopefully we don't have any problems this time around. It looks pretty good. We're using a bamboo spool too, which is kind of better in my opinion. Last time I went with external, I failed the I think it was a Venomized Hulk, another version of it, like a bigger one maybe, not just the headpiece, it was the whole figurine, and we were using the Keytech spool, one of these ones, and it got tangled up and we had all sorts of fucking issues with it. So anyway, keep you posted. Bye for now, catch you on the next one.